Second term, he's set for a landslide victory over Coleman A. Young II. It may be the biggest margin of victory in 20 years in the mayor's race.
Let's take a look at the results right now. Some of the precincts yet to report, but Mike Duggan, the incumbent mayor, with 70% of the vote to 30% of the vote for the challenger, Coleman A. Young II, the state senator representing the city of Detroit. In Lansing, 46,000 plus, almost 47,000 votes for Mike Duggan to just over 20,000 votes for the challenger, Coleman Young.
Some calling it Duggan right now. We have Team 7 coverage, starting with Action News reporter Jim Kurtzner, live at Mike Duggan's headquarters. Jim.
Glenda, Dave, let me tell you, they are looking at these numbers. They have been all night. We were originally told that Mike Duggan would not take the stage until 11 o'clock, but the numbers have been coming in strong and fast, so they've moved it up to an hour. It's going to happen at any minute. And as soon as he takes the stage, we will let you listen into that. I can tell you they are also touting what you just mentioned, the strongest numbers in a race for mayor in Detroit in 20 years. If you go back to 1997, Dennis Archer beat Ed Vaughn by a margin of 83% to 16%. That was 20 years ago, 1997. Tonight it's looking 70-30 for Mike Duggan over Coleman A. Young II. We've seen several speakers up here at the podium, including, if you look, you can see the person on the right is Police Chief James Craig. He's been sort of the cheerleader in chief for about the last half hour, 40 minutes or so. Also, as I look up on the stage, just behind Chief Craig, you can see Wayne County Sheriff Benny Napoleon. This is interesting because the race 4 years ago was Duggan versus Napoleon when Mike Duggan was first elected Detroit mayor 4 years ago. That was right at the end of the Detroit bankruptcy lasting 12 months after Mike Duggan took office. The bankruptcy ended in December of 2014. Mike Duggan has been touting his record to the voters of Detroit for the last several months leading up to this election, saying he's going to rebuild the entire city. Critics have said he's only focused on downtown, not the neighborhoods. One of his problems has been demolitions. Millions of dollars in grant money has gone to demolitions in this city over the last several years. There have been 2 investigations by the state and by the feds for misuse of some of that money. But the demolitions continue, and Mayor Duggan recently said that everything has been cleaned up, and in fact the feds gave Detroit $88 million just recently for more demolitions. You can see they keep saying 4 more years. We are anticipating Mike Duggan being out here any minute. Here he comes.
Mayor Mike Duggan!
Well, thank you, Detroit. There's always room for Reverend Anthony. Welcome. You know, it's been a year campaign, and through all of the different kinds of attacks, I have been treated by nothing but warmth and kindness from Detroiters in every neighborhood of the city. I am just so appreciative. I can't stop for gas or go into a store without somebody coming up, smiling, wanting their picture taken, and then they want to know when I'm going to get the dead tree down in front of their house. And I say, that's Detroit. That's what we're working so hard for. And we started out, we had to decide what kind of campaign we're going to run. And after you watch what happened nationally, I mean, this is a decision because I had resources. And were we going to run the kind of campaign where we were going to trash our opponent, or were we going to spend the time talking about the vision for what we're still going to do in the next 4 years? And I thought one of the most profound things President Obama ever said was, if you have to divide people in order to get elected, you'll never be able to govern, right? We're seeing that. And so we made a decision that with all of the us versus them attacks, I decided I didn't care. I wasn't going to respond to it. And I'm very proud of the fact that at the end of this campaign, we did not spend one dime on TV, radio, or mail attacking our opponent. And I hope that this is the year where we put us versus them politics behind us forever, because we believe in one Detroit for all of us. All right?
One Detroit, 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 one Detroit.
You know, I'd like to take the time to thank everybody in the room, because every one of you has worked out 150,000 doors that we knocked on. The numbers are amazing. We had 25,000 voters in houses that had lawn signs. The way the numbers came in, we had more votes in the lawn sign houses than my opponent had votes total. Thank you for everybody who was willing to stand up publicly.
Okay, so you're listening to Mike Duggan with his victory speech. This is the second victory for Mike Duggan as Detroit Mayor's first victory 4 years ago. Tonight by a wide margin, 70 to 30%. And as I mentioned when he started talking, they're touting that this is the biggest margin of victory in a Detroit mayoral race in 20 years. And now we actually have the numbers that they've handed out to us. It's kind of hard to see, but the key one here is 1997, Dennis Archer winning by a margin of 83% to 16%. For Ed Vaughn was the challenger 20 years ago. So it's a big night for the city of Detroit, a big night for Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan. 4 more years for Mike Duggan. We'll have more later tonight. Back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Great job down there. Mayor Mike Duggan's opponent, State Senator Coleman Young Jr., still yet to concede the race, despite what the election numbers are saying tonight.
Simon Shaquette standing by now at his watch party. And Simon, what's going on there?
Glenda, Dave, as we speak, we're hearing that concession speech now. Take a listen.
So I just want to say again to everybody that's out there, I thank you. Yes. I appreciate you. Yes. This has been a hard fight right over there at 18963 Livernois. That little small office that was filled with cigarette butts and pizza and all kind of other stuff I ain't gonna say on camera. And we converted it and turned it around into a temple for the people and their issues.
That's right, that's right.
We done been through it all.
Okay, and what you're listening to right now is the concession speech from State Senator Coleman Young Jr. He took time out to thank his family, his friends, his supporters, talk about a difficult fight that he encountered in this election. He did say that he has conceded this race to returning Mayor Mike Duggan, and he's going to be spending some time here talking with his supporters a little bit more, but he is saying best of luck to Mayor Mike Duggan. Back to you guys.
All right, Simon, thank you very much.